I want folks who are Magnet members to talk about why they decided to join. So Pep, Twin Cities Community Voicemail, McNo, talk about why you guys decided to join Magnet.
We've just been about keeping people connected and communicating. People that didn't even have the most, elementary form of communication, a phone.
We never really had partners or any other groups experiences, and so seeing what's been emerging lately, it's like, oh, that's exactly what we want to be involved in. We've had an interest in that for many years, but not a way to express it.
It's more than just providing somebody with someplace they can get messages if they're looking for work or housing or something. It really is about keeping people connected.
So I think that for us in organizing, and what we do is we train organizers to look at relational-based organizing as opposed to other forms of organizing. Our power comes from who we know. Our power comes from our intentionality in building relationships. Our power comes from being strategic.
It's interesting because as people were talking, I was kind of trying to think about how to say what the motivation is, and I think for me it really comes out of this place of real frustration. Actually, we work a lot with neighborhood-based organizations, so really place-based organizations. And one of the things that happens, and I think that this is pretty common, is place-based organizations tend to be place-based organizations for only certain people in a place. And have always really struggled with this idea of how you get the word out about things, how you communicate, and how you listen to the people who live in the community. And frequently the answer is, well, they just don't.
So recently we've been really trying to figure out how to get cell phones to people, which is just, most everybody has a cell phone in this society, and in fact the cell phone market is saturated, and except for people who are low income.
And as technology has progressed, I think that it creates some real opportunities for low-income communities, communities of color, and immigrant communities to be actually, really speaking about issues that are important to them and what their stories are.
Communication, simply. One thing I always bring up is the medical situation. We have no way of communicating with doctors, hospitals, with lab results, or next appointment. 2 days ago, just regarding one appointment, it took me 23 minutes going and 3 phone calls. Okay, you can't do that with voicemail if you have it. How else are you going to do it? If you take the bus, maybe 2-3 times to the same place.
We've been doing a lot of research on kind of how could we get cell phones to everybody who's low income. It's going to be monumental because of the costs, but we're kind of starting with smaller steps. But I think to get in the discussion of media and communications, a basic discussion about kind of the lowest level of communication.
So the homeless don't have it, people in transition don't have it, low-income groups don't have it. I can identify areas in St. Paul.
Think about voicemail as the only form of communication that you have in technology, and then think about how much you use all kinds of technology.
And I'd just like to say the media justice piece of it is that, 72% of voicemail users currently are homeless. And Voices for Change, that Simon's a part of, has been doing really good work that way. So that's a really, really big piece there.
For me, being part of Magnet is really learning how to use those tools to actually have people communicate their stories, their interests, their issues.
Yeah, media justice for us is really about community-based and people-centered, and that's why all of you are in this room. It's not by pure happenstance. We have about close to 10 organizations that are members of Magnet in Minnesota. There's a few that couldn't make it here today, but that's really where we want to be at. And I want to say that very clearly because it's not just about opening the floodgates to anybody or everybody. We want to be very intentional about who we bring in. It's organizations that have a deep connection to a base, a deep connection to people that represent what media justice should be about. And that's why you guys are really here.